so much for inviting me. It's really exciting to be in the Oxford Union at this side of the room. So I just have 3 points to make tonight. The first is the question about whether it's justified to deny certain views a platform. Now, the response to the rise of the extreme right has been to define these groups in moral terms, to define them as evil. And in doing so, we, and I've been here before, get to feel morally superior. We are able to denunciate evil forces. For example, when I first got to Oxford, and I'm from South Africa, so I had not lived in the UK before, or for a while at least, I was tutoring a high school student, and he was studying the British National Party. And when I heard about this, I was really interested. I do mostly ethnography and finding out about who people are and why they do the things that they do. And I said to him, what kind of study are you interested in doing? Are you interested in maybe going to a rally or trying to find out who these people are? Because they are ordinary people, right? They're really ordinary people that are living ordinary lives. And what he said really shocked me. He said that they are ignorant and they're low class. And for me, this really epitomizes what the problem is when we define our enemies as evil, rather than involving them as adversaries in the political sphere. So in these terms, when we get to define people as evil, no debate is possible. They just need to be eradicated. So instead of proper political analysis, we think that we can quarantine or cordon off these views in order for them to disappear. And actually, this has the opposite effect. Ironically, it has the effect of exacerbating the problems which created the far right in the first place. And that is that there are many people in this world who do not feel like they are being heard. And when they do not feel like they are being heard within the public sphere, they create opportunities outside of it. We need to provide an opportunity for all popular ideas, ideas of the people, to be debated within the rules and norms that platforms set, especially trusted platforms like the Oxford Union, where they are framed according to the rules of proper conduct, with opportunities of being able to interrogate these ideas, as any one of you could do right now when you stand up and give me a point of information, for example. Please do. For those with radical ideas, being in the public sphere where they have to face real opposition has the important effect of challenging and often tempering these ideas. And if we can avoid moralizing just for 1 minute and focus on what popular opinions are and who they belong to, then we can start to see the value of people being heard as a powerful antidote to the feelings of rage and anger that drives terrorism and extreme views today. So to sum up the first point, popular new ideas held by ordinary people need to be given a platform, because if we don't, we will exacerbate the problems that we started with, that led to right-wing views in the first place. The second point is that, is it actually even effective to try and cut off certain views? Now, we live in an age where organizations and groups of all stripes have access to the internet and are able to present their views online and garner support for those ideas. In this sense, the genie is already out of the bottle. The internet is here and it is available as a tool for ordinary people to start campaigns to raise money for the poor, to topple dictators, and for terrorists to broadcast their ideologies. So now, more than ever, it is absolutely critical for important, trusted platforms like the Oxford Union, to provide context and nuance that ordinary people crave in order to try and understand the world around us. I was struck recently by a discussion on National Public Radio in the United States between a bunch of editors, newspaper editors, and listeners of NPR. And they were talking about whether they should be showing the latest beheading video by ISIS. And one listener said something that really struck me. He said, listen, I can get this video anywhere. I just have to go online. But what I really require is the trusted news organizations that I rely on to be able to provide the context and nuance that I actually really need in order to understand what is a very scary and frightening thing. So ideas that are widely held and that are already available, in other words, require trusted platforms in order to offer us this nuance and the kind of rational analysis that is not present on many platforms that exist online. My final point. I think it's really important to talk about what we mean by platform. If we say that popular support is enough to justify a platform, we aren't saying that this doesn't mean that individual news organizations, individual platforms like the Union, can't make decisions about how these debates and these platforms can be designed, whether particular spokespeople are representative actually of popular views, or whether they are perhaps giving undue weight when describing the popularity of the idea. The point is that there is no platform that is neutral and no audience member that lacks agency. It's patronizing, it is indeed, to suggest it. As a communications scholar, I've noticed that, and others have, that decades of media research has demonstrated that we cannot see a causal link between the content of a message and the actions of an individual. Violent video games, ladies and gentlemen, do not cause violence, no matter how much the media likes to tout this. But the context in which video games are played has an effect. Again, going back to one of the ISIL videos, one viewer noted that watching the video on the internet actually had a really interesting effect. It made him realize the humanity of these people because they were quite awkward. There was some ham-handedness to it. Offering a platform for extreme views, ladies and gentlemen, does not legitimize speech. It legitimizes the opportunity to speak and the imperative of listening. I thank you very much.